Guys, Rick Ginn here, and I'm at a property, and in this video I'm going to show you what to look for on your wholesaling appointments to help you get the best deal possible. I'm going to show you how to look for problem points, point it out to the seller. Guys, keep in mind, most sellers are numb to the current condition of the house. You have to have the ability to walk on the property. Sometimes they're super nice, and sometimes they're really run down. The rundown ones are easy, but let's walk through. I'll show you how I walk through a house and find what the problem areas for is so I can open it up and get the best deal possible. This is the stuff you guys need to be looking out for in your wholesaling appointments to get the best deal possible. Before we walk on the property and I show you how to do this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share this video with anyone you think would be of benefit. So come on guys, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to get a first impression. This is crucial in evaluating your seller's motivation and what their pain points are and how you're going to solve it. So before you walk in the door, even sitting in your car in the driveway, if you're always be 10 or 15 minutes early to your appointment, being on time is late. So we need to respect our sellers, and if you show up late, you're going to start off on the wrong foot. So when you pull up in your car, you're going to take a look. Like I look at least the landscaping's decent. I look at the bottom trim of the house to make sure there's like no fungus or overgrown weeds. And this is kind of above average for the houses we see. But as I get closer to the house, I'm already noticing problems. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my eye line and pull to the roof. Roofs are really important to people. And then I'm going to get the first impression because these are what the buyer's going to see. So I see some wood rot up there. As you look at it, you need to look at everything because you're going to have to point this out to your sellers because guess what? They are numb to it. They don't even know it's there because they see it every day. Let's walk up, and as we get closer to the front door, you'll get a good idea what the condition is. Guys, notice the locks here. Security is a big issue with them. So they probably don't want people parading through their house. I already know that before I walk in. And then I see the screens down. I know we have some issues in this house. So let's see if we can help them out. So guys, I walk in and you see I got deadbolt, lock. Yeah, another deadbolt on there. So security is a big issue with them. Keep in mind, guys, we're in the process of clearing out this property. But as I walk in, I'm going to show you what to look for. So we're in Florida. It's hot here. The first thing I'm always going to focus on after I do the roof, roof's number one. Number two is going to be the air conditioning unit. So I've learned a little trick that works very well in any of the thousands of units we bought. I go to wherever the air filter is. You can find it. It's usually a 2x2 space. Now, if you look at the outside, it already looks rough. This is typically going to be indicative of the health of the house. So when I open it up, actually, I'm very happy when I find a filter in there. But it's one of these kind of hand cut. I mean, it's pretty dirty. These filters don't catch much. I would put in a custom fit filter. And I already know this house is going to be rough. So the next thing I do is once I open that up, let me put this back in here, I'm going to go find where the air handler is. And then you can just get a general idea. So once again, guys, look, I mean, that's about the tightest lock you'll ever see. And then there's a deadbolt on the bottom. So when I go to build rapport with them, I know security is very important to them. So I'm going to let them know how I'm going to take care of them, how I'm not going to parade people through the house, and how they can trust us and basically establish that rapport. So if you want to look in here real quick, small little garage, but the air handler's in here. So the first thing I do, if you look, a lot of the vendors will put their stickers, dates on it. So it looks like this was actually serviced 2 years ago. So I know this thing hasn't been looked at 2 years. Some questionable stuff. You see, I see a wire cut straight through the drywall, and I noticed on the other side it was cut. So guys, I know this is going to be kind of a rough house. This looks like fresh board, so they've done a repair here. This AC system, and then right here, you see the mold here? There's a lot of moisture stuff going on. So this AC is going to be in fair to poor condition. I've seen them much, much worse. And then when you see them really bad, they'll have mold all around here. So just something to look for when you do it. I'll look at the hot water heater. This is actually clean. It's got the correct box. It looks like an electrician, and it was all done. You look at the bottom, you see some rust on there, usually much, much worse, so that one's in good shape. Another thing you want to pay attention to is the house will give you the clues to help you build rapport to get a very good deal. So if you notice right here, there's a wooden ramp, and you guys probably missed it when we walked in. There's a concrete ramp going up. And let me look right here. I got a wheelchair. There's multiple wheelchairs through the house. So that means they're probably taking care of a family member that's handicapped. And that's going to be something that they probably using you because they don't want people parading through their house. And they want their privacy, and they don't want to expose their family member to all the fun that goes with selling real estate on the open market. Also right here, you'll notice it is a Bible reference book. And then what else we have here? Guys, all the clues. So if I'm looking over, I'm still looking for clues. So I see a basket of golf balls, although I don't see any golf clubs. And if you look all in here, a bunch of metal pieces. I'm assuming these are light fixtures. Guys, the garage is the key to finding out what the men like, because most of the men are confined to the garage, so if you look around. So what I'm saying is if you see golf balls and you're good at golf and you understand golf, then that's an easy topic to spin off to build amazing rapport. So I'm not a golfer, so I don't comment on it because I can't do it, but like if I see fishing rods, I get an amazing conversation. If I see boat parts, that's my hobby when I'm not doing this. So I love to talk about it. I'll go in 10, 15 minutes into it, and then I'll get into the deal. But it's so important once you establish that rapport. People like doing business with people that are like them. So it's your job to match them as much as you can. I still want you to be you, but find a common interest. So I look around the garage. Another thing is I'm always going to look for the circuit box. Some of the old houses have the old systems. This one's relatively up to date, so to speak, meaning the amperage is all there like they work. So if you look around here, a workbench, all sorts of neat tools. So I know the man of the house, if there is going to be some sort of craftsman. I love craft stuff, I just don't know how to do it. Let's come on in, we'll take a look around further. So guys, now we're at the kitchen. The kitchen usually going to tell you the condition of the kitchen is pretty much your drop dead center for finding out if you're going to get a deal. So I don't need to go in. This kitchen's rough, okay? If you look, the cabinets are barely hanging. There's a hole over here. This tile at one time, heck, it might have been white, but it might have been tan. If you look at this drywall here, I don't know what's going on here, so this is what I'm going to reach out and talk to the seller, and I'm just going to ask him what's going on here. There's some sort of moisture issue. So it's either coming up from the cooking, it's coming up from here, there's rust here, and a lot of times your sellers won't even realize it until you point it out to them. So sometimes you can actually take a picture and blow it up and show them and say, listen, I think there's mildew in here. And then I'll start looking through the cabinets. My favorite part is to look right under where the sink is. And if you notice on this, guys, let me get a light in here. There's no bottom board because the sink's been leaking so much, it's basically water rotted out. And also, I won't bore you with these details, but I see rat droppings in here. So I know they have an infestation of rats, cockroaches, and everything else. I'm going to go over this with the seller, and I'm going to do it in a polite and respectful way, but letting them know they have an issue. And I'm going to show them instead of talk about them. So I'm going to come in and have them come in here. Hey, do you know what these little black specks are? You know, I think that's indicative. Don't shoot me, but it might be rats or mice or something like that. Do you have any pets? And I'll say it maybe nicely and sarcastically and see how they react. Guys, they know it's here. They're just not going to tell you about it, and just let them know you're aware of it, but you're here to help them out. And you want to make an offer to take care of everything. Because the idea is when you bring up all the pain points and it all starts to build up, at some point they called you for a reason. Don't ever forget that. There's a reason you connected with them. If it's text, cold calling, mail, whatever it is, you're here. We obviously have a problem. This is what I call a motivated house. We just got to get your seller motivated enough to get you a deal. But you've got to walk through the house and tour it. No, we're not real estate agents, but we need to know what we're dealing with. Whoever buys this house is going to redo the entire kitchen. It ain't going to be me. I don't do that. So let's look for other clues. We'll walk through real quick. Bathrooms are another good one. I can tell the toilet's been reseated multiple times because the seal's busted. I got dried up lizard over here. I mean, you got a decent tub. It's all kind of dirty. Nothing matches. The good thing is these smaller bathrooms are relatively cheap to replace. So whoever's going to buy is probably going to spend $3 or $4 grand to get this done. Also, you guys that love dogs and pets, look no further than right here. Anything like this, you can tell they've also had some sort of pet been tearing up on the doors. So if you look in the hallway, now this right here, I can tell you right now, remember we talked about the wheelchair stuff? This is from this not being wide enough for the wheelchair. So if you see the rubbing, I first thought it might have been a dog, but it's from a wheelchair going down the hallway. So they need a place that's more suitable and can accommodate their family member in need. And you can see it right here in the bathroom. So guys, you know it's important to take care of family, and that's what we do. So respect it. Take the clues here. This is a really small house for somebody that's confined to a wheelchair. The bedrooms is just kind of a quick makeover. You notice there's wallpaper on it. I'm not a big fan of wallpaper. Don't ever pull off wallpaper. It's very expensive. You wind up re-drywalling the whole wall and mudding it. Just leave it as is. But for the most part, the bedroom's in good shape. Now, I will tell you, if you look around here, remember those black specks we saw on the other side? They're everywhere. So these are the signs of some sort of animal. I'm not an animal expert. I'm assuming a rat. I heard something flopping around earlier. Once again, I'm going to point it out to them, and eventually the truth will come out, and it never comes out. And the carpet's really worn and dated, but as I said, I'm just going to clean it up and vacuum it and get the best deal possible. So the carpet, I've seen worse, I've seen much better, but the carpet, I wouldn't even put it in fair condition. It's pretty rough. Carpet's easy to get low. And then the other tip is this house, I believe, was built in the 80s. I believe this came with it. And if you look up, sometimes a tip, now I don't smell any smoke in the house and I see white walls, but if you look up at the air vents and they're all yellow, this isn't from smoke, it's just from grease and residue. And these are plastic, and plastic, they used to make these back in the 80s, they turned yellow over time. Buyers hate that. You can switch them out. They're like 15, 20 bucks a plate. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a rehabber. I do deals. We do wholesale, and that's what we do. And then this fan, it's probably original 1982 fan. Take this out and put a cap on it. It costs you nothing to do that. So get it all out. And then the other thing, guys, is this is from like the 80s. Everything's original. So I know there's been no updating on the house. They know it's time for updating on the house. So at this point, once I do the tour, I'm going to sit down. So here's the key. Either I'm going to sit down or stand up with them. You know how I decide? I let the seller decide. If they want to sit down on the couch, I sit down on the couch with them. If they want to stand up in front of the kitchen, I stand with them. Whatever they do, you have to mirror them. People like to do business with people they like and they consider somewhat of a friend. And that's all we're doing with it. What we're going to do is we're going to take all the clues we get. And guys, don't worry. It's a little challenging at first, but by the end of your second and third deal, this is be like routine. We go, first thing is, let's review. I'm going to look at the foundation around the house, just get that first impression when I walk up to the house. Then I'm going to look up and I'm going to look at the roof. And I'm looking to see, does the roof look clean? Are there any bubbles in it? And then I'm going to walk up at the front door, and before I knock, I'm going to look. Are there locks? Is the screen enclosure clean? Are there any tears in it? Is there a ramp? What's going on? And then once I come in, the first thing I'm going to do is look at the overall condition, and I'm going to look for things to connect with them to build rapport. Most houses are going to have a ton of pictures. They already took them out of here. Pictures are the key. So you can tell if they're a big family person, if it's kids, if it's boating, if it's baseball, you'll see a lot of mementos. If they like the Yankees, you like the Yankees. Even if you're a Red Sox fan, that's how you have to do it. So guys, use the clues, all the tools around you, get an overall condition of the house, and when you're ready to sit down to walk into your negotiating phase, you have everything. You have the condition of the house, you have it up here. You have built the rapport to get them started, and now you get to the fun part. You sit down and you start talking about an offer. You do your what-if situations. you set up your upfront agreement, and you come out with a great deal. This house is motivated. The seller sounds like they're motivated. It's your job to put that all together and get a fantastic deal. So these are all tips you want to do when you're walking to wholesale. Guys, it's not as complicated as you think. Just look at the basics of the house, the roof, the HVAC system. You know, look at the windows, look at the kitchen, look at the bathrooms. The bedrooms are the easiest ones to fix. It's usually just carpet and paint. And sit down with your seller, and then as you're walking through the house, if it's in rough condition like this, spend more time on it. Here's another tip. If it's in really good condition, when you go to negotiations, walk out that front door and talk to them in the driveway. Talking about that house is not going to benefit you getting a good deal. Your only hope at that point is they're motivated to just get rid of the house, and we buy plenty of houses that are in good condition. So good condition, bad condition, use these tips to get a deal from your seller and connect with them, build rapport, walk them through the pain points, and then sit down when you do the negotiations. You have all the tools necessary to walk away with great deals. The numbers I have on this deal, I usually don't see most of the deals, by the way, guys, is I believe we contracted and bought it for $130, and I believe it'll sell in the high 180s. And we're going to have about a $500–600 cleanup total, in and out in 5 to 6 days. And that's what we do. And the idea is do deals just like this over and over. Some are in great condition and they require no cleanup. My favorite. Guys, it doesn't matter. You're just buying from motivated sellers. We do not buy solely based on price. Guys, I hope this is valuable information. If you like the content you received today and you want to continue to receive the best free wholesaling information on the internet, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share this video. You guys tell me, what do you think? Do you use the clues of the house to get the best deal possible? Do you know what to look for? What do you guys look for other than the roof, the HVAC system, the kitchen, the bathrooms? I would love to hear your comments and opinions. Guys, thanks for watching. This is Rick with Flip with Rick.